Good morning, YouTube. Welcome back to another episode of Life with Friends. So today and tomorrow are actually going to be got a couple of things I need to check off. So today I have a virtual interview and a assessment that I gotta get done. The assessment is still not due for a couple of days, but they did send me a reminder that time is running out, so I need to get it done. So I want to get both of those done today. The virtual interview is due in about 6 hours. The link expires, so I'm about to get that done like ASAP. I'm actually about to iron my shirt and take a shower and shave so I can go ahead and get that done. And then I have 2 doctor's appointments tomorrow. One with the neurologist tomorrow morning, and then my first orthodontist appointment post-surgery is tomorrow at noon. So I'm gonna do my best to record as much as possible tomorrow. Bear with me. So let's get it, let's go. Alright, so I'm currently at the doctor. I meant to record on my way here, but we are at the neurologist's office to do our follow-up from May. And I have my accommodation paperwork to see if she's gonna fill it out, but I will keep you guys updated. Alright, so I'm sitting out in front of the office building. Appointment was, I wasn't worried about this appointment, so I'm waiting. It went pretty well. She's actually gonna give me my accommodations. So what I'm requesting is, of course, the 4 days off a month for migraines as needed. But it's also time for me to recertify for my stand, sit desk, and my comfortable shoes. By comfortable shoes, I mean being able to wear gym shoes. But I'm also requesting screen tints for my computer screens, which basically make them anti-glare and reduce the effects of the light that comes from the screens, as well as the overhead lighting, which is how it was explained to me by HR. And that was something that was offered by HR, but they wanted something from the doctor requesting that. And then a supervisor suggested that I request a better chair because they saw me fidgeting in my chair one day before I went out for leave. And then when HR called me into the office the other day, I told them that I wanted a better chair, so I was going to request that to my doctor, and they suggested that I do that, and they would give me a catalog once they got the request for the right kind of chair. And they told me if I can provide a picture of the type of chair, that will help too. And when I mentioned that to my doctor, she said, yeah, that would definitely help with the amount of pain that I will be in. So she's definitely going to give me all the accommodations that I'm asking for. But one thing she is asking me to do is to reduce the amount of medication that I'm taking. And this is actually the first time that I've ever had a doctor tell me to reduce the amount of medication I'm taking. So I believe she told me she's not renewing my prescription for sumatriptan, which I'm okay. I think I have a nice enough supply of sumatriptan to last me, because I'm not really taking that as often as I was when I was first prescribed it. But then the Topamax or Topiramate, she wants me to cut back on how much of that I'm taking. I'm allowed to take up to 400 milligrams a day, but most days I only take 200 milligrams. She wants me to cut that down to 100 milligrams a day. So we'll see how that goes, and then that's all she's managing. And then, of course, my Jovi shot, which I only take that once a month. So because I'm taking the Jovi, she wants me to cut the Topamax Topiramate down to 100 milligrams a day. I told her I'll see about doing that, but it's not something that I am particularly excited about because it is a weight management drug as well. So because I told her that she don't want to completely take me off of it, but overall it was a decent appointment. So I don't have to come back for 6 months, of course. But for now, I'm about to head back to the house, and then my sister's gonna come pick me up and take me to my orthodontist appointment. But I am completely hungry, so gonna eat something while I wait for my sister. I'll let you guys know what's next. All right, so I'm at the house waiting for my sister and my mom to get here. But one thing God has really been dealing with me on subtly, but it really came on strong last night after I posted my last video about being the exception and not the standard, is that I have to begin to downsize. Something major is about to happen. I don't know quite exactly all the details or what that major change is going to be, but a major change is about to happen, and I need to be prepared for it. And anytime that I've gotten that message in the past, it wasn't as strong as it is right now, but I was always glad that I made the changes or began to downsize when I did, because when the change came, I was better prepared for it. And it's really interesting that it came on so strong the message came so strong last night, because over the last week or so of my leave, I began to just move around my house and just start going through the little piles. And as I'm going through these little piles, I'm like, why am I keeping this? Why am I keeping that? What's this for? What's that for? Just throwing things away. And just start looking at things like, I'm not playing these board games. I need to sell those on eBay or something, or consider donating them. Thinking about my closet, how everything in there needs to be replaced. And I've been knowing for a while that I need to get rid of everything in my bedroom closet, but just, kind of holding on to everything because I don't have the money right now to replace everything in my closet. But the message I got last night and this morning is, you're not wearing everything in the closet anyway, so just begin to go through and keep those things that you are wearing on a more regular basis, and get rid of the things that you're not wearing at all. So that's where I'm at right now, and I don't know exactly how soon I'm gonna start to go through those things, but I'm definitely gonna heed to the message, because I want to be better prepared for whatever this change is when it comes than I was the last couple of times, because the last time the change came kind of sudden. I knew it was coming, but I didn't realize how fast it was going to come. And at the same time, I was going through some physical issues, so that I ended up walking off and leaving a lot of stuff, and I don't want to do that this time. So if I am going to be relocating soon, I don't want to walk off and leave some important things, and the things that I can't take with me, I do want to have time to post and sell those on websites and stuff. It's to the point that he's like, sell these books online. So I'm about to at least start posting books online for people to buy. So that's where I'm at. So if you start seeing me in vlogs, making posts online, that's where I'm at. Even if I end up staying locally, I'm going to be downsizing. So that's where I'm at. Felt like it was important that I shared that with you guys. So Again, I don't know exactly what the change that's coming, but part of the change is I'm not going to be buying anything that's not necessary. So other than me buying a coat, and I know I need to buy a coat, and I need to buy a black suit, and a few other wardrobe pieces. Outside of that, I won't be buying much of anything going forward. We'll see what I buy. Like I said, I buy what I need between now and when that change actually comes. Everything else I buy on the other side of this change. Milo is trying to warn me about something. I don't know if it's somebody come outside or if he thinks his auntie and grandma is outside or what, but he's trying to warn me about something. So I'm gonna go see what he wants. Alright, so now I'm at the orthodontist. I'll take some pictures. Just got receipts that I needed to take care of flex spending. And we'll see how the rest of this visit goes. Alright, so on my way into the doctor, I got the message that I have to work tonight at my seasonal job. So I'm about to lay down, try to get a couple more hours of sleep for that. But as far as how the appointment went, it actually went really well. They said everything looks really good. The good news is that I'm almost done paying for my braces, and I'm also almost at the end of my plan. So they're expecting to be able to take the braces off in 6 months. And then they are going to keep the same rubber band pattern. Actually, I was supposed to put more rubber bands on, and they didn't, which is fine, because the girl that they had me sitting with to begin with, she didn't know what the hell she was doing. So they put hooks on all my teeth in November when I went, and she was supposed to take the hooks off the front teeth, and she didn't. She just started putting the colors on all my teeth, and then she called over someone to help with putting the hooks, the colors on the bottom teeth, and Dr. Brittany just happened to walk over as the girl was trying to figure out what was going on with the colors that she had put on, and Dr. Brittany explained that the hooks were supposed to come off the front teeth, and so she was able to take them off the bottom teeth. Then she had to go back and undo the girl's work on the top teeth to, finish up. So it just happened that my next appointment is going to be also the same day that I follow up with the oral surgeon. So it's going to be a busy day that day. And that day I'm going to be completely on my own because the way my appointments are set up, I'm not going to... my sister and my mom are not going to be able to, because they only have one car, they're not going to be able to take me to the appointment. So I have to budget myself accordingly and make sure I have Uber money for that day, because Ubers here in Charlotte are expensive. The Uber I had to take this morning cost me, if I had taken the first ride that came up, it would have cost me $20 one way. It's just super expensive. So I ended up just selecting the wait and save option, which saved me about $8. And I ended up not having to wait at all. And then same thing on the way home. The first ride home was, I think, like $12. And I chose the wait and save option, and I was able to save like another $4. So all in all, the round trip home was like $22. Whereas had I just picked the first ride that popped up, it would have cost me almost $40. So we'll see how things go. But I'm about to lay down for hopefully about 5 hours before I have to get up and get ready for work. Also, today's Monday, so homework is due by 2 a.m. So my plan is to try to get that done before I go into work. I'm probably going to skip my discussion posts. It's easy 40 points, but if I skip this week's discussion post, I can't skip anymore. the next 3 for this class because I skipped last week's as well. So we'll see. But let me go ahead and lay down. All right, so it's Tuesday morning, so I'm ready to work. I was going to say something else about what I was talking about yesterday before I went to my orthodontist appointment in regards to this sense that a change is coming. So I'm starting to prepare. I can't remember what I was going to say. It came to me this morning while I was trying to go back to sleep after working for a few hours last night. One thing I didn't do while I was off is anything for my Sunday reset. I spent that time recuperating. So this is the first time I actually looked at my teeth since leaving the orthodontist. And I will say that I do like how much lighter my mouth looked without all the extra hooks. So what they do is before surgery, they put hooks on all your teeth. And then, the oral surgeon decides on which hooks you need to stabilize your jaw or whatever. And that's what the rubber bands was on. That's what you see me doing in some of my videos, putting the rubber bands on the hooks that the orthodontist told me to use. He bent the ones that didn't need out of the way so that my lips wasn't constantly getting caught on. And then now that I'm back at the orthodontist, she takes over and decides from there which ones I will or will not need. So she basically had all the ones on the front removed because from here on out I won't need the ones on the front. So, but the ones on going towards the back, on both the top and the bottom are still there. So when I go back in November, they'll decide, they'll finalize the plan on if I'm going to use any of those. So I'm waiting on the train, and as I was walking up here, I was reminded of a rule or principle I set for myself back in the early 2000s when I was writing my book, right there on the screen, Long Distance Relations. So one thing I set for myself is that as I was writing for that book, I wanted to make sure that there was no cussing and no explicit sex scenes. And when I set that rule, it was based in large part on a lot of churchy stuff. Not necessarily any biblical principles, but more so church standards. But it was mainly don't be like the standard in the urban fiction industry. The standard was a lot of profanity and sex scenes, and I didn't want to. I want to stand out from that. So. So that's one thing God was dealing with me on as I was walking up here today, is that you set the standard for yourself that you want to stand out from the crowd and not be part of the crowd. So continue to be the exception and not the standard. So hold on. So part of being the exception and not the standard is not doing what everybody else is doing. So just because they are doing things that the law said that they're not supposed to be doing, don't mean
the next stop is Archdale Station, with a bus connection to Route 57. Please check the bus schedule for available service.
So I need to go put myself accordingly and continue to be the exception and not the standard. So my content, especially my short form content, will be governed and it will display that moving forward. So that's something that I was dealing with today as I was walking to the train. Alright, so this time I remember that I have my microphone so you guys shouldn't hear too much of the background noise as I'm recording this on the bus stop. Got about 10 minutes before the bus gets here. So Today I saw two of my coworkers that I hadn't seen since I'd been back, and both of them actually reminded me, or not even reminded me, but echoed um, exactly what I've been dealing with in private, that I physically have changed. My looks have physically changed, and that's what I have actually been struggling with probably the most. And after talking with the second person, it really kind of triggered me. So I've been an emotional wreck since talking with the second person. I'm actually glad I'm off work right now, so I can kind of just not deal with it, but not be around people if I need to, just let the emotions come out. But it did remind me to go ahead and reach out to the therapist that I dealt with, that I was with last year, and try to get with her, because the therapist that I met with a few weeks ago through EAP was trash. And everybody I've talked to that has gone through some form of EAP, not just on this job, but with other jobs, say the same thing, that they have had to go through several therapists before they found the right fit. Because a lot of these therapists that EAP programs work with are trash. And yeah, that one was definitely trash. So finding the right therapist is definitely key when you're going through things. And the second person I was talking to today actually posed a very good question, and it goes back to what my friend Angie, mentioned when she encouraged me to reach out to a therapist when she checked on me a few weeks ago. I just lost a significant amount of weight, and then on top of that, to go through this change in my physical looks. It's a lot to deal with. So she asked me, did I go through this surgery too soon after losing so much weight? And the answer is actually no, because the jaw surgery has been 20 years in the making. So I just think that the surgical staff didn't properly prepare me for how drastic the change would be. They show you pictures of how other people's changes were, but I don't think anybody can prepare you for how drastic your change is going to be. Every case is going to be different, person by person, and they can show you case by case studies. I think with modern technology, they probably can show you better mock-ups of what your change may look like, and I think that probably would have better prepared me had they shown me digitized pictures of what I might look like after the surgery. But because they didn't use that kind of technology, I wasn't as prepared as I could have been for how drastic my change was. I also wasn't prepared for the swelling. Yes, they tell you that you're going to swell, but I think that they kind of downplay the swelling. But then when you tell them and they see how swollen you are after the fact, they tell you that it's normal. But beforehand, they don't really show you. They don't really prepare you for how much you're going to swell. And then when you do your own research, there's no real pictures of how much people swell during the surgery. So that's why I am public about how much I swell. And I'm okay with people seeing it because anybody that goes through the surgery after me that looks like me, I want you to know just how much you have the potential to swell. And I'm transparent about the fact that I blew my nose too early and that escalated my swelling. You know, when you're honest about these things, it helps the next person that's going through what you do. So, that helps them not make the same mistakes that you made. Now, my medical team did tell me that the swelling I had was going to happen eventually, but because I blew my nose on day 2, it made the swelling happen a lot faster. But had they told me beforehand, I think that would have helped. They did tell me not to blow my nose. They didn't tell me how long to wait to blow my nose. And when I read the pamphlet, which I was trying to do beforehand, I just got too busy to complete the reading. The pamphlet did say wait until week 2 to blow my nose. And then even since then, when I do try to blow my nose, I really don't blow out mucus, but when I lay down, mucus want to drain to one side or the other. So even still at 7 weeks out, I am finding myself having to sleep elevated so that the mucus can try to drain out, but it doesn't drain out. It only will drain like side to side, which is not good because then it will try, if it doesn't come out, it will eventually get into my ears and cause an ear infection, and I definitely don't want to deal with that. I had an ear infection in 2024 from a sinus infection, and yeah, I don't want to deal with that. But in the season, I am still learning to be more patient with myself and to give myself more grace. It's a marathon, not a race, a sprint. So it's one step at a time, one day at a time. So the marathon continues as the sun set on week 7, as the sun set on week 6, and we go into week 7. So, as far as what I am dealing with, my tongue still has that bruising on the side. The roof of my mouth still feels like a hot cup of tea has been spilled on it. It's just not as bad as it was over the last 6 weeks. My jaw on the inside is still a little numb. For the most part, the sensation of numbness has pretty much gone around my lips. Every once in a while, it will go those same spots, the upper left corner and then the entire right corner will lose feeling. So I haven't gained 100% feeling back, but it's not as bad as it was. And then I do have 100% feeling back in my right nostril. My ears are doing a lot better. As you can see, I have my earbuds in. I wasn't able to do that even 2 weeks ago. I'm watching for the bus. Every once in a while they do pop, as if I've been on an airplane. But all in all, I am getting better. As you heard my update, the orthodontist said that I look really good for someone that just had surgery 7 weeks ago. So, and then I get my braces off in 6 months as long as everything continues to improve. So, Now we're working on filling in gaps and spaces. One thing I did notice over the last week is that on my bottom teeth, there was a gap forming here before surgery, and since surgery, that gap has filled in. And I brought that to Dr. Brittany's attention. They didn't mention that to me, and I meant to mention it to them on my August appointment, and I got distracted and forgot to mention it to them. And I was glad that I noticed that filled in, because I was actually getting pissed off about that, because I'm like, no, we're not supposed to be creating new gaps. We're supposed to be, preparing for surgery. And then, like I said, after surgery, I noticed that gap filled in, and I'm really glad about that. So I'm glad that they took the unneeded hooks off the front of my mouth, because I feel like it definitely makes my mouth, the front of my mouth looks lighter. And I'll be glad when they take the other hooks, unneeded hooks off, because still having some slight poking in the back. And to me, that's just one step closer to being done. And like I said, I'm almost done with payment. And as some of the financial blessings come through, I might just go ahead and pay it on off just to be done with it. Because I've been paying with my flexible spending, and that has run out for this year. And I don't think they're going to hold off until next year to get any more payments. So I'm going to go ahead and close this out for now and go home and take a nap, because I have to go to the other job tonight. And I will check in with you guys tomorrow. All right, and just like that, the week is halfway over. So it's Wednesday. I did go to work last night, but I feel like they wasted my time. So before I left work? No, excuse me. Actually, I was on my way home, and I got a text message saying that they had changed the start time from 10:30 to 11:30. 11:30 is usually the normal start time, but lately they've been having us come in at 10:30. So I was glad about the start time changing back to 11:30, because that gave me a little bit more time to sleep, and I definitely needed it. And I slept almost right up until time to get up. So I got there and punched in. I was 5 minutes late because I didn't leave the house on time. And then I ended up not getting on the floor because there were so many people in line to check in. Ended up not even getting through security to get on the floor until 5 after 12. And I didn't even, there was no work. So we sat there until 1 o'clock, and then at 1 o'clock, they switched those people that got on the floor before me. They sent them to break, and then they sent us back there to do the job that they were doing. And then when we came back from break, they had pretty much already done all the work that came in at midnight. What little work was left, we snatched that up real quick. And then they were trying to send us back to the back to do the work we was doing before we went to break. But most of us was like, fuck that, we're going home. And the people on the machines, they were already cleaning up so they can go home, because all their work was done. And by this point, it was like 5 minutes to 3 anyway. So I was going to be cleaning up to go home and shortly there anyway. Because, I go home between 3 and 3:30 every morning anyway. My book bag is opening up. Hold on. Yeah, so one of the bank employees was like really shocked that I was preparing to go home. Meanwhile, the other bank employees that don't normally manage the floor wasn't surprised at all, because they know my routine by now. But I was glad to be home by 3:20, and I was rolling over to go to sleep by 3:45. So, but I feel like my alarm clock didn't go off, but at the same time, I feel like it did, because when I finally woke up at 7:35, my phone was in my hand, so it must have went off. And I turned it off and rolled over and went back to sleep. Not necessarily rolled over, but laid there and went back to sleep. So 7:35, I got up and went ahead, let Milo out, and got up and got ready for work. And was still able to leave the house on time. But we all know how nerve-wracking it is to feel like you woke up late or later than you wanted to. So that's where I'm at this morning. However, I did decide within the last 24 hours that there will be no new wine flavor content. And that is going to be in relation to the no unnecessary spending for the downsizing that I'm going through. So whatever this shift is, whatever the next season of my life is going to be, whenever it comes, I can't move into that season way down. And if I have all this extra wine that I made, it's going to add extra weight unnecessarily. So, but now I'm going to wrap up the wine flavors I have, and then I'll move from there. Once I'm stabilized in my next season, I'll pick up the new wine content, and I'll probably end up establishing a new channel dedicated to winemaking, mainly because I am going to want to pick up where I left off, because I still want to make 2 flavors a month, and like I said, pick up where I left off. So if it's a year from now, 2 years from now, I'm going to want to make up for those 24 to 48 flavors that I missed, plus the 2 flavors a month going forward. So what that would look like is, if it's September, or let's say, because I missed August, if it's August of 2027, I'm going to want to make 6 flavors a month, going from that point on until I am caught up. And that's going to be a lot of heavy wine content for this channel. So having a dedicated space for that amount of content will be best. But once we know where my new season will land me, it'll be, I'll be able to make those kind of decisions. But it's just not the time to continue doing something like that. It served its purpose, because when I started making wine in May, it was a nice distraction from all the migraines that I was having. So it got me through May, June, and July with all the migraines I was having. So that's where we at with that. Like I said, we're going to wrap up the flavors that we have. The first 2 flavors, the orange and banana, has been bottled. I am about to do the second filtering on the strawberry watermelon and the dragonberry, or the mixed berry. And then hopefully by Thanksgiving, those will be ready to be bottled. And then we'll go from there. But let me catch my breath so I can get ready to walk into the building, and I'll check in with you guys later.
Sure, it's $4.
Alexa, make living room lights white. All right, y'all. So I just got home a little bit ago. It's currently 7 o'clock. I got off work early, about an hour early, and I've been home probably about 30 minutes. All right, so I got an unexpected blessing, a sizable blessing at that. So I was able to place some orders and replenish some resources. So I'm going to, all right, so place the grocery order, never mind the shoes and a blanket, and a Sam's Club order. So I need to get all of this put away, and we're going to cook. All right, so let's go ahead, let's get it, and let's go. All right, so when placing my online grocery order, I wanted something simple, something quick, something I can put in my electric lunchbox, something that was different, and something that I could, like I said, something I can put in my electric lunchbox, and not have to use the microwave. And in my electric lunchbox, I knew that it would still be crispy, kind of crispy, but not quite hard, and not necessarily be soggy. But that's not what I got. This is what I got, and this is why I understand why so many females have been complaining lately on social media about male shoppers. And I didn't understand the complaint because when I was shopping for Instacart and what was the other one? Instacart and I don't remember the other one. I don't remember the other one, but it was another one that I was shopping for. I was a good shopper. I got people what they want, and if they didn't have exactly what they want, I got a comparable replacement. But this shopper I got, he didn't give me what I wanted. I asked for fish sticks. He could at least got me the generic fish sticks. He got me this. Now, granted, I can still put this in my electric lunchbox, and I'm sure it'll be okay. But this is not fish sticks. I've never even seen this. It's 2 fillets, but this is not what I wanted. And I'm kind of disappointed about it because I was looking forward to a fish stick. So I'm kind of interested in seeing what else may have muffed up. So let's unpack the rest of these groceries. All right, so he definitely muffed up the order some more. I'm missing the 2 packs of shrimp I ordered, as well as a pack of chicken thighs for the bourbon chicken. And I think there's one other thing I'm missing. And then I forgot to order rice, I think. I think I'm supposed to already have some rice, but... And then I need some chicken broth. So I'm about to walk up here to Food Lion. I need to go to Food Lion anyway because they got a sale on Mountain Dew. So let me go ahead and do that while it's still early. All right, so I'm back and I got everything that I need. So I am about to make some dirty rice before I have to go to bed. So let me change and we're going to get started. Okay, so for this dirty rice, we're actually doing it a little bit different than what I normally do. All right, so normally for my dirty rice, I either do like a pound of Italian sausage or a pound of ground beef, depending on who I'm cooking it for and their preference. Some people like beef, some people like Italian sausage. If they like both, I might do a half a pound of each. Because I am trying to lose more weight, I'm trying to increase my protein intake. So I am kicking up the protein. Because I'm trying to lose more weight, I need to increase my protein. So I am really kicking up my protein in this particular dish. by adding a lot of protein. So I'm doing a pound of protein, a pound of ground beef, a pound of um, Italian sausage. I'm doing one sausage, one kielbasa sausage link, and I'm also doing a pound of shrimp. So this is going to be a really dirty rice. And then I'm doing my usual vegetables. So I'm doing all four colors of bell peppers and then my red onion. And then since it's going to be so much meat, instead of doing 1 cup of rice, I'm doing 2. So let's get started. I got my oil going, and then once that heat up, I'm gonna dump my meat in. Alright, so it's Saturday morning. Couple of things. So I forgot to show you guys my rice, so I'm going to show you guys that in just a moment. I actually shared it with my coworker that's sitting next to me. Shared it with two coworkers. The one that's sitting next to me, Kiri. One because she has shown the most, one of the people that showed the most concern about me since I've been back. Two, because she heard me talking about it before I left work. What was that? Thursday. So since I made such a big pot, I know I would have more than enough to share. So I took her a portion, and she ate it actually before her lunch break. And she said she was so happy about it. And then the other coworker I shared it with was Lawrence, because him and his wife came and sat with me for about an hour while I was on leave. I haven't gotten his feedback about it yet. So I will see him later today. And both of them love spice, so they were like really excited to hear that it was spicy. I didn't film yesterday unintentionally because I was so tired. I was dead on my feet all day yesterday. Because my body has not been adjusting well to being back at work. I tend to be sleepy a lot and very sore. And actually, under normal circumstances, I will be out the house already because it's like 8:45. But because it's raining so bad today, I am taking a car. I'm looking around for my pants that I had on yesterday so I can grab the belt off of them. I see them now. You guys will see how much these pants hang off me. Nothing fits anymore. I remember there was a time that I did not wear belts. Now I can't wear anything without a belt. I was able to order a few items this week for my winter clothes. A couple sweaters and a couple winter coats, or winter jackets, I should say. Alright. Check my pockets. Some socks.
Dr. Scott's patients are both impaled on the same fence post. Right now, one of them is dying.
Go ahead and start bagging them. We're going to have to intubate, guys. I've never intubated a patient lying on their side when I can't place them on their back. But I've got to try it. So in order to intubate someone, you have to paralyze the muscles and give them a sedative agent so they're unconscious during the procedure. Obviously, his muscles quit working. He becomes very
I've gone through so much Carmex since surgery because my lips stay dry.
I'm not usually happy to
Alright, so time to put my shoes on.
another patient, and I had not warned the student that that's
Which one did you want?
Alexa, stop. Alexa, make living room lights white.
You aren't scared enough to turn yourself in and work this out.
Alexa, make living room lights white.
But then I met Max. Okay. It was like we were made for each other.
Alexa, turn living room lights off.
Even more to lose. Okay. It's a nice story. We have a USB from with classified information that you passed along to your handlers. Not exactly. I manipulated the images that the false intel. Max's machine is safe. You tricked the Russians. It's trying to buy time. Figure out how to get out from underneath their thumb. And time it out. Please, let Max know how sorry I am. I want you to write down everything you can remember, including
Help right away if you get a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, or any of these allergic reactions. Serious side effects may include pancreas inflammation and gallbladder or severe stomach problems. Call your prescriber if you have any of these symptoms. Wegovy may cause low blood sugar in people with diabetes, especially if you take medicines for it. Call your prescriber if you experience vision changes, heart racing at rest, or any mental changes. Depression or thoughts of suicide may occur. Side effects of nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea can lead to dehydration, which may cause kidney problems.
why wait?
Ask your prescriber about Wegovy today. Brad finds us across backgrounds. This takes me way back. It's a bridge between cultures, generations, and strangers turned friends.
Did you see the girl here?
I did. Tony Shalhoub, Breaking Bread, premieres October 5th on CNN.
All right, we are back with the kitchen's ultimate recipes. Lucky for us, today's guest is bringing us the ultimate dessert. He's a talented pastry chef and a judge on the new season of Halloween Baking Championship. Please welcome our dear friend, Zach. Yeah. I pass the whip to you. The whisk. So, thank you for having me.
It's been a while.
Now, you're, a star baker now, but how about when you were a kid? Did you dabble in the baking arts as a child?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I started baking. I was working at Radio City on the Christmas show, and I wanted to make Christmas cookies. So I bought a mixer and bought a cookie cookbook.
Oh my goodness, I gotta go take my medication. My ear just filled up.
Which I already know the answer to, which is, Zach, how did you get your start?
My right ear, which has been bothering me the most since surgery.
In school, I was working at this very fancy bakery, and I was ready to move on. And I read a Craigslist ad that said downtown HubSpot seeks pastry position, opportunity to be very creative. I literally remember this. And so I went down to Butter, and who was there? Alex Bornichelli made carrot cake. Wow. A warm carrot cake filled with cream cheese in the center. And Alex ate at least one of them. I was being kind. And you said, yeah, I would like you to be the pastry chef here. I mean, it was a one-man operation.
All right, let me go put my rice in a bowl. Grab some wipes for my glasses. And then by the time I do all that, it'll probably be time for me to call for a car. All right, so here's the rice. Again, it's vegan protein pack, so it got ground turkey, no ground turkey, it got ground beef, Italian sausage, kielbasa, and shrimp, in addition to your 4 colored peppers and onions, and it's very good, and it's very spicy. And I remember the last thing I was going to say today, before I head out the house, is that I am I lost a little bit more weight. So I think the last time I said anything about my weight, I was at about 221, 22 pounds. I am down to 217 pounds. So with me being back at work and walking regularly, even though it's causing me hella pain, I am consistently losing again. So that is a plus. So I'm doing something right. And even though I was eating all those potatoes last week, that was a concern of mine, which is why I was like, I gotta get this protein back up. So next week, the plan is to start the 75 soft. So that was going to be a video series in and of itself. So we're going to talk more about that in that video. But I am going to go ahead and close this video out. I was going to do it later, but might as well since I got a few minutes now. It is 8:45. I'm gonna call my car at about 9. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video a little bit more than some of the more boring videos over the last few weeks. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and be sure to drop in the comments some more things that you want to talk about or see in future videos. And don't forget to hit the notification bell to get all my post notifications, and I will see you guys in the next video. This has been another episode of Life with Fred, and thanks for watching.